If you're just joining us, a major ruling from the Supreme Court on two controversial Arizona election laws. The High Court ruling just about an hour ago on Brnovich versus the Democratic National Committee. The 6-3 decision ruling that a ban on ballot harvesting and requiring voters to cast ballots in specific precincts does not violate the Voting Rights Act. Attorney standing by with Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich. Attorney.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the Supreme Court deciding that upholding these two Arizona election laws, deciding that they did not violate the Voter Rights Act. We want to go ahead and bring in Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich, who actually argued this case with the High Court. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody in the morning show. Hi, Mom.
We first want to get your reaction, obviously, to this decision.
Well, actually, I think the last 24 hours has been good for the Valley of the Sun. First the Suns and now this case. And this case was always about the rule of law. It was about what can we do to make sure that everyone who has the right to vote votes, and at the same time protect the integrity of the process. And so we've argued from the beginning that election integrity measures are important to instill confidence in the process. We want to make sure everyone votes. And that's what this case said, is basically that common sense election integrity measures are okay.
Now, in regards to the ballot harvesting law, I know there are some people out there that believe that this would make it harder for those in rural or native communities to vote, really kind of limiting to family members, caregivers, or postal workers to return the ballots. What would you have to say to those people?
Well, you know, when I made the argument, one of the things that we pointed out is no less than Jimmy Carter had said that one of the greatest threats to election integrity was ballot harvesting. We know as recently as 2018, a Republican in North Carolina used ballot harvesting and an election was overturned, and North Carolina went without a congressional seat for nearly a year. So this is an issue that isn't Republican, isn't Democrat. It's about the integrity of the process. And when we originally had a 10-day trial on this issue, there were folks from the African American community here in Phoenix that testified that they were worried about the impact this would have, and that there had been people even going to their neighborhoods saying they were government officials. And so the reality is that one of the greatest threats to election integrity is having political candidates or political parties collect and handle your ballot.
When we talk about the law that deals specifically with precincts, how does it or will it affect those areas that have voting centers that allow you to basically vote at any of those voting centers rather than your assigned precinct?
We can still have voting centers. We can still have early voting. A lot of those things are okay, and that's part of what this case was about, is can states determine the process for how they conduct their elections? So voting centers are okay if that's what, you know, the county or that's what the state wants to do. What it did do, though, is there were certain limits on out-of-precinct voting the day of, and a majority of states in the country and even the District of Columbia have similar limits, and the Supreme Court said that's okay. States can conduct their own elections how they want to conduct them as long as everyone has a fair chance to vote.
All right, thank you. We appreciate your time. And guys, we are working to get more information from the Democratic National Committee. As you know, many of them were concerned that this disproportionately affected minority voters. So once we get that information, we will make it available online and on air.